Okay, welcome back. So we're out here again, and I've leveled the truck up there. I got the frame leveled out so you can see it's level. So this is the frame rail on the passenger side. Alright, so I got it all leveled out here. Checking my pinion angle here on the rear end. Checking the angle here on the transmission drive shaft. So, making sure that these angles match each other. And checking it up here on this gear. Up here on the top of this rib. Checking it on the pinion. I'm checking it on the other angle of the pinion. Alright. So I'm checking it here on the drive on the tail shaft. So we're looking real good. We just have to be within 30 degrees, so it looks like it's going to be pretty good. And we'll have adjustment in the rear end here in a little bit. Alright, I'm checking it the other way. So it's basically 87 that way. So yeah, we're looking really good. Looking really good to be pretty well matched up here. Alright, so checking it this way. It says 87.2 there, 2 or 3. That's hard to hold with the camera and everything, but coming off this front face, and either from here or the. All right, so I'm right on the pinion nut there, and you know, you get 87.2, 87.3. So you know, we're within half a degree here. That's saying 87. I was 87.2 on the back of the tail shaft. So we're within 1 degree. We're real good here to set up. This should be 3 degrees down, so I got pretty close with the motor. We're going to be able to do some framework and stuff in here and play with the rear suspension now we got it all set up. So alright, I'm going to go back up to the front now. I got everything level and everything, and just making sure that the rear end and that tail shaft up there match. Alright, so my bowls are my bowls are pretty well level there, so I'm not going to have any float issues or anything. And I got my frame, it dances around between 0.1 and 0.2 depending on. This is 0.3 there. Yeah, 0.1. So I got it really, really level. There we go, 0.1. This is the other side. And it dances around between 0.2 and 0.3. So there's 2. So there's 1. So this thing is really, really level. For what it is. I mean, it's pretty amazing. So I got it level, and the bowls look good. We got the rear end and the transmission's within 1 degree of each other easy. So we're ready to start doing the framework. I need to finish the framework and then start working on that rear end. back there. Yeah, you can see the level. That's saying 0 now. But so we're ready to start to finish the framework, start working on suspension kind of stuff, so we can put the fenders on. So I'm gonna work now. I'm gonna go in and start boxing. I bought metal. I'm gonna box this whole frame, and we're gonna start working on that now. All right, I'm just taking the pieces that I got here. I'm using a marker, coming in here with a marker and just marking the shape. Yeah, I'm gonna get all the pieces made and tacked up in there all the way down before I weld any of them. I might weld these front two on and then work my way back. Do one and do them both at the same time. It ought to be okay. But anyway, I got it marked out. I'm gonna cut it and start boxing inside the frame in here. Alright, I got one side made up, ready to be boxed. I need to go over there and box this side. So I need to make the pieces to get that side of the frame boxed. When we're all done with this, there'll be a couple of fish plates put in here and there on the bottom, and I'll fish plate the outside too. But we're just boxing right now. We're just going to box the frame, and then the fish plates will be put on later. But step one is to box it, and then there'll be probably a couple cross members that go in here and there, random places. You know, along the back side here too. So we got a box. You don't have to, but I'm gonna box that frame all the way out, and then the cross member is gonna go in back there. We got some suspension work to do later, but before we can do any suspension work or even put the fenders on or anything, we got to box this frame in. So that's what I'm doing now. So it had like a factory box in the middle of it before, so we're just going to leave that in there and tie to it. So I still got to take that off and grind it where I'm going to weld it, you know, clean it up so it's ready to weld. But I got this side made up. Got plenty of room to get it in there for the exhaust and whatever, work on it if I have to. So we're going to make up the plates for this side now. Alright, I got both my pieces cut, and I'm taking a grinder and went around where the weld's going to be on all my parts that I'm putting in. So just kind of take the, you know. Alright, I got everything clamped up on there, and I'm going to go in here and stitch them on, and then I'm going to weld whatever I do to one side, I'll do to the other side, and work it back and forth like that, and weld them up all full. I'm going to get it tacked on now. Alright, I got both sides all clamped up. I'm going to tack it all and then start burning it in, and then start moving on to the fish plates that go here. Alright, I got both sides tacked. What I'm going to do is run a weld one side and come over to the other side and do the exact same weld and just plop back and forth. And my welder's got 30% duty cycle, so if I weld 3 minutes, then I need to take a break and weld, you know, 3 minutes on, 7 minutes the fan running, you know, that kind of stuff. Alright, I'm going to get this all welded in. So you can see whatever I do to one side, I do to the other side. I'm going to let my welder and the part cool down a little bit. And then I pick another place to weld. Okay, so I got this all welded. And the other side's all welded too. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to cap with a piece of angle over onto here. So I'm going to grab this angle that I welded and then weld onto this. And the same thing with the front. I'm going to put a piece of angle and grab the front and tie onto that piece of angle. And that way there's not just a butt weld there, there's something lapped over it. And after I get that done in here on the inside, so I'm going to make those pieces. After I get that done, weld those 5-inch pieces of angle in 4 places. I'm going to go to the outside and to the bottom. So I'm going to put a fish plate in there on the bottom of the frame. I'm not going to be able to do this one under the jack right now because I'm so perfect level. I'll do that one later. But I can put these fish plates in here and there. So I'll bend them up and look like a fish mouth so that it can't, even though this is this C-channel goes straight back, we don't want it to crack, this piece of C-channel to crack off of it. I mean, we do have this plate across of it now, and it's welded to the outside. But we're just going to box it to where there's no, like this is probably my weakest point. But I got that piece of angle grabbing it, and then I'm going to grab it with a piece of angle, and I'm going to put a fish plate here and a fish plate on the outside. And it's gonna have to like break it back here, because it ain't gonna break here. It'll have to break back there if it's gonna break. We do want it to flex a little bit. We don't want this so stiff that it causes a high-rise fracture. Like if you make it so stiff, it can actually cause it to crack. We do need it to flex a little bit. So hopefully we grab it to where this thing can tweak without breaking. So we're gonna fish plate it and get it back into this factory double box frame part. All right, so I got a piece of angle I've cut like this, kind of diamond pattern, and I got it clamped up on there. And we're gonna weld them in. We're gonna get them welded in now. Alright, I got those 4 pieces of angle welded in there. So it grabs back in the frame, and it's not straight down, so hopefully it allows some movement there that's not hardened. But we're gonna put some fish plates in now. Kinda what that was. Not really, but we're kind of just making it up as we go here, apparently. But I think that's going to help. And we got that whole frame boxed. So now what we're going to do is come to the outside, start putting fish plates on the outside. All right, I put a piece of poster board up and I rubbed it. You see how the outside of the frame showed up by just rubbing the poster board on there. So I've got a basic idea. I'm going to cut this out and see if I like how it looks like. And if it does, we'll make this up and we'll add this to the frame. We'll box, put the fish plate on. Alright, got a couple templates laid out how I want to make the fishes. So we'll go get them cut out of some thick steel and get all the frame all cleaned up and get them welded on. This is just if a crack happens, it's just like a safety plate. Keep it from ripping all the way through the weld. So we're gonna put these on and cross our fingers. Alright, I got this set laid out, and I'm gonna cut them out, get the holes drilled in them. Alright, I'm over here on the bandsaw getting this all cut out, and then we'll put the holes in it. Alright, got the holes drilled. I destroyed one hole saw, so I had to go today and get another hole saw. But we got this because you can't. That hole saw is only supposed to go 1/8 inch. Basically, it can't. Once it gets over this point on the teeth, it can no longer. So you got to like keep blowing it out, raising it, blowing it out, and then apparently, 3.5 holes. It was the end for my used hole saw. So we got this one all drilled and we'll get it fitted to the truck. I already got the plates ground, and I ground the frame where the welds are going to be. So I got both sides here ready to weld. We got a 220 wire welder, Miller Shopmaster set up, and we're gonna burn these plates in. So whatever I burn on this side, we're gonna go over and burn the other side, and just keep working our way back and forth. With this 230, this big 220 welder I got turned up, I shouldn't have to preheat it, but I might preheat with some MAP gas when we first get started to make sure we burn in. Alright, I got them tacked on there. So we're gonna burn the little plate, the outside of it. Then we'll go burn the outside of the other side, and we'll come back and burn the outside of this. Part of it. We're not going to burn the whole thing. We'll burn out. We'll work our way. We'll do a little bit to this side, do a little bit to that side, so they warp together hopefully. And then after that, we'll come back and do the inner holes. So I'm going to weld it up now. All right, I got these welded. So what we're going to do is make some more fishes and cap the bottom of the seams, cap this seam here in the top. So I'm laying them out now. Over here at the bandsaw, I'm whacking them out. We're gonna put them on there over all the seams. Alright, so I got all the fish plates welded on there. And we got it back pretty well level on both sides. The bubble reads the same. So it's all welded up, and then it's plated. So we got that all done. Now we're gonna go in there and start, see that frame? We're gonna start boxing it back. We got the inside boxed over there. So it's boxed on the inside. We got all our fish plates. They're all welded. Okay, everything's cooled down now. And because of this lower plate, none of my level, because the jack got put on the plate, so all my level readings will be different than before, but we can see I'm within the line. So if you move it, it's like 1/32 out from being level. You see that? It's not even a 16th. See how far I got picked up to get level. So we're close enough to do the fab that we want. We're inside the lines. And you notice where that one was. Come over here on the other side. You see that's on the back of the line too. So whatever warping happened, you can see I pick it up 1/32 there, and the bubble comes in. So we're looking really good. It's the same. So now that it's done, it's cooled down here. I'm gonna go down. You see, it's within the lines. It's like a 30-second off. And it's the same on both sides, so it's the same. I can go over there. So it's the exact same. So that's how far it's off from being level. It's like a 32nd or a 16th or something on a frame is really pretty good for this piece of shit that I'm building. But so what we're gonna do now is come in and box the inside of this frame back. So we boxed the front of it there and we fish plated it. We'll let it all cool, and this is like a factory. You can see how shitty they weld this shit together. It was like just electric statically, or a robot went through there. It's not the greatest. See, that's a factory butt weld, or they overlap it like I did everything. So it's overlapped, and then they came down through here, and you can see that weld they put on. So what we're gonna do now is we'll grind this all down. We'll make plates to come in, and we'll box this part of the frame off too, and then start working on boxing the rest of that frame all the way back. And then I gotta make suspension stuff there, but we're working our way through and gonna make this a little more solid through here. Alright, we got poster board cut out to make the box pieces for this frame here. So we're gonna get them cut out and get the here on the frame with the pieces made and tacked on. Alright, we're taking the bed off so we can start boxing the back of the frame. So we got it up in there, and we're going to roll it off so we can box it all. Alright, so we moved the templates over and marked it out with a marker. We're going to cut it out and put it inside. So I cut this mount out. It used to go down inside the frame. I've cut the inside part out. And that parallel four links probably is going to need that much travel. So we're going to just leave that notched out now for the 4-link to be able to travel like that. And we're going to keep making paper templates of cardboard. Those sheets are $1 at the dollar store, so I buy poster board at the dollar store, and we're going to the scrap that I bought, I probably won't be able to make this all in one piece, but there'll be a steel plate that goes here, and there's going to be a big steel plate that goes there for that suspension, because there's going to be a crossbar that goes across, and there's going to be a mount point for the front of the 4-link. So we're going to move the 4-link in the inside, give us all this space, and get rid of these leaf springs on the outside of the frame. So once that's all done, I can take this mount off and fish plate this part of the frame too. I'm going to keep moving that way. Okay, so I got this part welded. The center part of the truck's all welded. And I'm starting the cardboard process. I got it clamped up. I'm going to start working on the back that way. Alright, I got these plates fitted, ready to grind on to box the frame rails back to this point. So we're gonna get these boxes welded in. You know, make that into a square tube, basically. So we're gonna weld, you know, the caps. You know, the frame was like this, so we're gonna cap that off and get it welded, and then we'll start working our way back. And then there'll be fish plates put on the outside out here, and then there's going to be a big section of 1/2-inch plate put in all the way across here, but we're not going to get to that. I bought a set of parallel 4-links, so we're going to be able to get rid of all these leaf springs. We'll be able to take this all off, all these perches. So we're going to, right now we need to box back to here and then keep boxing so that we can put the new rear suspension in.
So I'm gonna get these welded in now.
Alright, I went ahead and welded the rivets on the inside for these shock perches. Because when I go to drill these out, I don't want that head to fall in the inside, so the head's welded. So when I go to grind these rivets out and take the shackles out, I won't have anything fall inside the frame, because I'm going to box it first, put the pour link in here, and then once all the pour links set up, then the perches will come off. Because everything's set up to where it was factory. All the measurements for the frame were taken off the wheels where they were. So you know, the distance between the wheels, you know, the wheelbase, all that stuff was already set where it was at. So we're going to use the leaf springs to hold our position. You know, it already has our angle, it already has our side to side, it already has our wheelbase, all that stuff's already done. So we're going to leave that axle and let the leaf springs basically be our jig. And it'll be good enough to go down the road for what we're doing. I mean, it ran down the road for years, so I got one side of plates put on, and I'm gonna make the other side of plate now. Alright, so I got that frame rail there made. Now I just got to go over here and get this frame rail cover made. So we got one side ready to be tacked. We're going to start making the bracket or the plates for this side. Alright, I got the passenger side pieces all made and boxed, so I'm going to tack all the boxing plates in and then weld them. I'll jump around, you know, whatever I do the one side, I'll do the other side, and you know, weld like 3 inches, and then jump over here, do the same thing, and then, you know. Alright, I'm going to get it all tacked in there now and get it welded. Alright, I got the first round of stitching done. You go 3 inches one side, 3 inches the other. So it's stitched bottom and top there. Now I'm going to let it cool a little bit and then come in and finish weld it all solid, and then just kind of knock it down with the grinder. So it's kind of, I won't take it all the way down to where they can flush and I make a corner. I'll just kind of hit it, the top of it off with the grinder, and it'll be all welded. So alright, we'll let it cool for a second, and then we'll go for the second round. Alright, I got it all welded, and you notice I didn't take it all off. There's a cap over top where the plate, where the weld is, but it's all been smoothed down, bottom and top. See, they're a little, so the weld hasn't been taken all the way off, it's just been made a little prettier. But so it's capped where that plate comes on there, so the weld's capped. If I would have ground it all the way flush, it'd been more likely to crack. So I got it all welded up there, and it's all boxed in. So now I need to make the cover plates to go over there, but you know, I got the frame boxed all the way out the rear now. Alright, I got these couple plates of steel here, and I've made a template out of poster board. What's gonna go on the frame? I've cut the shape of the steel that I got, and then so I'm gonna get these cut out and get them welded on for fish plates. And right about here is where my parallel 4-link mount's going to land. So it'll land on this thick plate, and I got a square tube that's going to go all the way across, and I'm going to have to build another drive shaft loop back here in the back on there. But I'm going to tie this frame together, and we're going to put this plate in. Alright, I got the holes cut out with a hole saw. So now I'm ready to put it up here in the bandsaw here and cut it out. Alright, I got both fish plates fitted here and ready to be welded on. So I'll get them welded on now. These are just the inside fish plates, and that crossbar for the parallel four link is going to weld to that. So and then once I actually get the spring mount off, I'll be able to plate the outside too. But where it's all going to come to right now, I'm actually using this as a jig. So the original leaf springs, suspension, and all that. And once I get the parallel four link in, I'll take that off and then weld the outside fish plates on. Alright, I got all the fish plates welded in on the inside here. Alright, so they've all been welded, both of them in all the way. So they're not coming out anytime soon, but yeah. So now what I'm going to do is, I got these plates here made up. I come in and cap the bottom of the seam off with the fish plate. I'm not going to be able to do this one yet, or the outside, until I get rid of this spring perch, because I can't really get in here and weld it properly. So once we get the front end in, we'll be able to finish the outside plates and this fish plate. But we got this all welded now, and I'm going to weld those at the bottom fish cap off. Alright, so I made the caps over this joint weld. And I can't get up here and do this one because the shackle's in the way, but once I get the I'll strap over that weld too. And the shackle's in the way to do the outside one, but I got the strap here and the fish plate. So we'll have to do this one once we get the shackle off. We'll have to do the outside plate too once we get the shackle off. Alright, so we got the frame level on both frame rails there. And so we didn't have any major warping when we welded these plates on. So we're looking good with the frame being level there. So you can see the rear axle's level. So we got the axle level. We got the frame rail here level. And this is the point, so you can see I'm level at the point where my parallel four link, it's just barely sitting in there right now. It's not even close to being. But we'll have these bars level, and we'll weld them on the back of the frame. But right now we're using the original spring locations to hold it as like a jig in the frame, because when I made the frame I did it all off of this wheelbase. So everything was moved to where everything's perfect. So what we're going to do is, and we're level, a square here in the frame, side to side from the factory location. I can't put this fish on this splicing plate until I get rid of this perch. So I'm going to use this as, the original place where the rear end was. I already have my differential angle set, and the transmission was set to that differential angle. So we're ready to make up the mounts. Now I'm going to cut those plates off, and I'm going to put a full crossbar from those two plates welded to welded. And we're going to put that parallel 4-link in on the inside of the frame. We're going to ditch all the leaf springs and all the perches. And then we'll work on making the Watts link, and I got airbags coming, so we'll air ride the front and back of the truck. It'll go down 2 inches off the ground, come up about 7 inches in the air, so it'll have plenty of ride height. But we're finally to the point where the frame, the frame's been boxed all the way. All the fish plates that I can put on are on. So we got the frame level and all the pinion angles already set. So I'm going to cut those plates off in the next video, and we're going to set up the parallel 4-link. Alright, you like this kind of stuff, check back in. Have a nice day.